Hello, my name is Allison. I'm here to talk to you about breastfeeding. I'm going to go over what is breastfeeding, why is it important. I'm going to go over what breast milk is and the advantages of it. I'm also going to go over lactation consultants, where you can find them, what they're there for, and if your insurance covers them, and what they'll actually go over if you seek them. I'm also going to talk about new parents and how many new decisions and what should be top priority, and how breastfeeding is a top priority in your decision making. If you could turn to slide 1 for me. We're going to talk about what is breastfeeding. Mothers, when they are pregnant, they begin to produce milk, and once the baby is born, breastfeeding is a very important way to feed the baby, and it should be our number one top priority decision that is made. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months of the baby's life, and then continued even after they are given solid foods up to a year and on. It is okay that you breastfeed your child 1, 2, 3 years. You will start to wean off, and they won't feed as much as they did when they were newborns, even 6 weeks, a month. Up until the 6 months, when you start giving them solid foods, they will decrease those amount of feedings that you give them. If you turn to slide 2, we're going to go over why breastfeeding is important. Breast milk is important, like I mentioned earlier. Mothers produce a colostrum within the first 3 days of their baby being born. The colostrum has antibodies in them, and that first 3 days of the colostrum is very pertinent that the baby gets that. They are able to fight off illnesses that visitors bring in, or that anybody outside of the hospital brings them. Like, you go to the doctor's office, there's always sick kids. That colostrum and that breast milk that the mother is able to produce and give the baby is going to be fighting off that. That is one huge important thing about breast milk. The bonding that you get with your child is another important reason while breastfeeding is so important, and it's cost effective. Everybody knows formula is super expensive, and breastfeeding is the way to go because the out-of-pocket expense for formula is outrageous. Slide 3, we're talking about new parents and new decisions. There are so many decisions that people have to go through when they're expecting a baby, before the baby is born, when the baby's delivered, and after the baby's delivered. There's so many decisions and so many things you have to go through, and breastfeeding should be one of the top priorities of the decision making. The decision needs to be made by both parents, because the mother is going to need support from the spouse or the other parent, from the family, and from friends, because the breastfeeding journey is very hard, very rigorous. A lot of sleep that's missing, and the baby needs food every 1 to 2 hours, and the support is pertinent in that situation. You need to do a lot of research. There's new research and new studies that come out on breastfeeding. If you do all your up-to-date research, you will continue to gain knowledge, and that hands-on experience is exactly what is going to get you through it. From my first to my second, that hands-on knowledge was so pertinent. I was able to breastfeed my daughter for 4 months, and I did great, but I didn't know a lot of stuff. But then my son, my children are 12 months apart. With my son, I was able to nurse him for 14 months. So I was able to extend my breastfeeding journey 10 months just by the research and the knowledge that I was able to gain by doing my own research and by that hands-on experience. And I had all the support from my spouse and from my family and friends that I was able to lean on, as well as lactation consultants. The advantages of breastfeeding: you can feed whenever and wherever. The cost, there's no bottle cleaning or any of that, which can be very stressful. The next slide, lactation consultants are there to help with latch issues, weighted feeds. They are there to give you tips and tricks for anything that you might need. In conclusion, I'm hoping to show you that breastfeeding is the way to go. Baby fed is the best way because everybody needs fed, and babies especially, but breastfeeding is a great way for you and your child to bond, and you're providing them with the best milk they could possibly get. So I hope you join me in the normalizing breastfeeding anywhere and everywhere. Thank you.